Welcome all you awesome sports fanatics. Welcome to my show. This is Tim Reynolds Show. On today's episode, we're going to be going over NFL news and notes and the AFC West 2024 offseason review and draft needs for every single team in the division. We'll start off with the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos notable players that are no longer with the team. Departures such as wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, who was traded to the Cleveland Browns. We also have safety Justin Simmons was let go, and they also released quarterback Russell Wilson. There's a lot of other backup players that were no longer kept with the team. As far as their rankings last year, Denver Broncos were 25th in passing and 18th in rushing as far as their offense goes. And on defense, they were ranked 22nd in the passing game and 30th in defending the rush. So it's going to be really interesting to see what moves they've made so far this offseason and what they're going to do in the draft to try to help out these needs, because other than really the rushing last year, everything was really subpar and in the bottom fourth of the league as far as rankings go. Notable players they were able to get this free agency period: safety Brandon Jones signs a 3-year deal with the team. They were also able to get wide receiver Josh Reynolds to sign a 2-year deal. Shout out to another Reynolds. Also, PJ Locke signs a 2-year deal. Defensive lineman Malcolm Roach signs a 2-year deal. They also re-signed their kicker Will Lutz and their fullback Michael Burton. So good sort of, pickup for them. Maybe not. Denver Broncos definitely going to have a lot of needs when it comes to the draft. They have a lot of people to replace, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because honestly, guys, this is probably not the best offseason. This is probably one of the worst offseasons for any team so far. If we were doing rankings, I would say these guys are probably at the bottom of the barrel right now when it comes to free agency moves so far. So as far as their draft needs go, they're definitely going to need a quarterback. They're definitely going to need some cornerbacks as well on that defense, along with defensive tackle and edge rusher. But they'll also be looking at offensive linemen in the draft. So it'll be interesting to see what they say. A lot of people have the Denver Broncos as a sleeper team to trade up in the draft for a quarterback this year. You definitely have to watch out for that, but I think this defense has a lot of holes as well, so it'll be interesting to see what they prioritize in the draft, whether that'll be offense or defense. As far as next team up, we're talking about the defending division champs and the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. That's right, guys. Notable players that are no longer with the team. Cornerback Jarius Sneed was traded away to the Tennessee Titans. Running back Jared McKinnon. Wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling was let go and released. Safety Mike Edwards, offensive tackle Devon Smith, and linebacker Willie Gay Jr. signed a free agent deal with the Saints, I believe. It'll be interesting to see what happens here with these guys. They made some pretty good moves this offseason so far from what I see here. Notable players they were able to get this free agency period. Defensive lineman Chris Jones signs a big extension with the team worth $158.75 million and $101 million guaranteed. So good job for him. Linebacker Drew Crankwell signs a 3-year deal with the team. They were also able to get wide receiver Marquise Brown on a 1-year deal. They re-signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire to a 1-year deal, and then also got QB Carson Wentz on a 1-year deal for backing up Patrick Mahomes. So not too bad of moves thus far. I really like the fact that they re-signed Chris Jones, one of the best defensive linemen in the whole league. He really was a wreck and a menace in that Super Bowl. So it's nice to see him get paid and get his contract. As far as their rankings last year, they were 6th in passing yards. Rushing offense was 19th in the league for the most part. So they'll probably be definitely looking to improve that running game in the draft, I believe, or help out that offensive line. As far as their defensive rankings, they were 4th in passing and 18th in rushing. Now, this is a top 10 defense all year long last year, so they really have solidified, I think, that top 10 defense. They're probably going to be a little bit more suspect in the passing game with losing Sneed, but I think their rushing defense is definitely going to be improved next year with all these guys coming back. Now, as far as their draft needs go, they're going to be probably looking at wide receiver, offensive tackle, cornerback, running back, and interior lineman. Now, especially with the situation going on right now with the Kansas City wide receiver Rashid Rice and his legal situation, I think that they're definitely going to probably be looking at wide receiver in this draft, especially because the draft is stacked right now at the wide receiver position as far as prospects goes. So they're definitely probably going to be looking to address that, and also that secondary and running back position, I think, are their biggest priority as they head into the draft. And if they want to defend their title, they got to make sure that all these guys are going to line up after they draft them and get them in town. But hey, Andy Reid and that team is going to have anybody ready to go, and they're looking for a three-peat, guys. So watch out for these Kansas City Chiefs. Next team we're going to talk about is the Las Vegas Raiders. Another team in the division, guys, that did not make a lot of moves. Honestly, they probably did just as bad, if not worse, than the Denver Broncos. I'm not going to say worse just because of these guys that I see here that they were able to pick up, and they didn't lose too much, honestly, especially when that team was not very competitive at the first part of the year last year, and then when the new head coach took over, it looks like their team was able to get a little bit of a boost and a little bit more fire underneath them and actually play competitively near the end of the year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them in the draft and with these free agency moves that they were able to make. Notable players that are no longer on the team: running back Josh Jacobs, quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, wide receiver Hunter Renfrow, cornerback Akeem Robertson. Just notable players that are no longer with the team. As far as the guys they were able to pick up in this free agency period, excuse me. QB Gardner Minshew got a 2-year deal with the team. Defensive lineman Christian Wilkins gets a 4-year deal, $110 million. Awesome deal with the team. And they also signed running back Alexander Madison to the team as well. Now, there's a bunch of little other guys that they got re-signed for the team as well. No guys that are really notable. But as far as their rankings for last year, in passing, they were ranked 24th and 30th in rushing. So that offense has got to get going. They have to be able to pass and rush the football. But it looks like they're going to probably focus more on the rushing game because they were ranked so bad last year. They have to get that improved. As far as their defensive rankings, they were ranked 12th in the pass and 21st in the rushing defense. This is pretty good defense last year. They were hard to beat. They actually ended up beating the Kansas City Chiefs near the end of the year, the last loss for Kansas City before they went on their run to go win the Super Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see what the Las Vegas Raiders do in the draft. As far as their draft needs go, they're probably going to be looking at running back, offensive tackle, linebacker, and cornerback, and offensive lineman for the most part for this team. And they could be looking at a quarterback too, so don't rule that out. There could be a lot that they're looking at. They could be looking to add some depth at wide receiver with how much wide receiver prospects there are in this draft. So be sure to keep a lookout for the Raiders, man. I think they're definitely a team to watch to see what draft moves they're able to make. The last team in the division, guys, is the Los Angeles Chargers. Like I said, another team here in this division that did not make a lot of moves this offseason. So Kansas City right now is still looking like the big dog in the division right now. So watch out. So as far as the guys that are no longer with the LA Chargers, they did not re-sign running back Austin Eckler. Wide receiver Mike Williams was let go, and also wide receiver Keenan Allen was traded to the Bears. Tight end General Everett and linebacker Eric Kendricks, I butchered that one, were not re-signed as well. Guys they were able to pick up this free agency period, though, not too bad. They were able to get running back Gus Edwards on a 2-year deal. They were also able to get tight end Hayden Hurst and linebacker Denzel Perryman and cornerback Christian Fulton. So they got some pretty good depth here with these guys, some veteran guys to come on the team to help Harbaugh run his first program, this first year of being the head coach of the LA Chargers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there with this team. Like I said, just an offseason with not very, very much moves. So the draft's going to be very important for pretty much all the teams in this division to see what really they're able to do to fill out their roster. As far as their draft needs go, they're definitely going to be looking at wide receiver, cornerback, interior offensive lineman, and offensive tackle, and running back position. So more than likely, they're going to focus on the offensive side of the ball in the draft for the most part. They have a lot of veterans already on the defense, so they're probably going to go ahead and focus on the offensive side, on looking for those pieces on the offensive line, or possibly a running back or wide receiver to be able to help Justin Herbert get to the next level and hopefully get these guys back into the playoffs as far as the Los Angeles Chargers are concerned. All right, guys, this is the review of the AFC West so far, that division, and their moves as we head into the draft season coming up. Hope you guys like the show. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Tim Reynolds Show, the best sports show on YouTube. We're going to go ahead and give you guys the entertainment and sports news you want, the way you want it. No BS, no drama, just an average, cool sports fan, football guy giving you guys the sports news that you want and the sports news you deserve. And hey, we all love football here. This is all about camaraderie, guys. I'm starting this channel to follow my dream, and I hope you guys will follow along with me. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for checking out the channel. Be sure to check out more episodes as we got coming up. We're going to be going over all of the NFC moves so far for every single division, the 2024 offseason and 2024 draft needs for every single team and all the divisions. We got the NFC coming up, guys, so be sure to check it out. Like I said, thank you for all the support. You guys have a great day. Peace out.